guys, how you doing today? So I thought I would talk about this guitar that I'm currently borrowing from John Cordy, along with his Gibson. So I thought I'd do a little A-B comparison. Now sorry that intro jam went on for a bit longer. I was having quite a lot of fun on this, as you can see. Now my thoughts on this before I get into the spec side of things are, compared to the Gibson, if you're looking between the Gibson and maybe something different, maybe something cheaper, I would highly recommend this guitar first if you haven't played with it. The Sire stuff, I can tell firsthand. I've got the Telly, I played the Strat. They are absolutely superb, Indonesian built, and for the money, it is very hard to find something as close to what you want, what you really want. Okay, so if you really want that Gibson standard, or you really want that Fender Strat but you can't quite afford it, then I would highly recommend the Sire stuff, because I haven't found much that would come close to it or has come close to it yet. So this is Sire's own LP style Les Paul, their version of it. Now I was quite hesitant to think how it would compare to the Gibson. Now, in some ways, I actually prefer this than the Gibson, and I'll tell you why. So, one being, it's light, okay? Now, that's fine if you're sitting down, if you're playing a heavy guitar, it's okay. But when you're standing up and you want to go out and gig with it, and you want to lug it about, it can be a bit of a hassle. So, one thing that this has over it, it is really light, which you can feel, obviously, straight away. Secondly, I actually prefer the neck on this. It's a C-shaped neck, so it's slightly slimmer than the Gibson standard, their own Les Paul, and it has a satin finish on the back, so it's really smooth, guys. Like, if you have played Gibsons before, you know, with the painted neck, it can be, especially when your hands get hot and you're playing or you're recording or anything, you know, your hands, it can create that kind of block on the neck and your hands don't play, they just get stuck right to the neck. This, with the satin finish, you don't get that problem. It's really smooth. Not only for the price, I think, I forgot to mention the price. The price of this is, I think, Andertons are doing this one for $529, $530. So it's pretty crazy for what you get for that kind of money. But yeah, the neck was an instant turn on for me. It was felt great in my hands. The playability is really easy with it. It's not too chunky. I don't really like a baseball bat kind of neck. I'm used to kind of smaller necks, and this is kind of a hybrid. With that, kind of like a Strat, maybe a bit thicker than a Strat, but not quite the size of the Gibson. So I really like that. Another thing which I liked, which was a nice touch, was the locking machine heads. Okay, so the tuning stability, these are Sire's own locking machine heads, and the tuning was brilliant. I tuned it once, and I was there. I was away. Okay, obviously I tune it up every time I play it, but I don't have to constantly retune. With the Gibson, I felt that that whole G-string meme, I was retuning that G-string. I had to put a bit of Big Ben's nut sauce. I don't know if you know that. It's a bit like lead pencil you'd put underneath the nut to help it stay in tune. So I had to use that with the Gibson. I didn't have to use that with this guitar, okay, which was surprising to say the least. I think the locking machine heads do a great job, and it's a nicely cut bone nut as well. The pickups are Sire's own humbuckers that they make, and I've got to say I'm really happy. I think they are great humbuckers. I would say the sound of the Gibson is probably a tiny bit more my liking, but these come damn close. If you did a blindfold test, it would be sometimes very difficult, I think, to pick out, especially with the price difference. You know, the Gibson looking at $2,500 upwards, especially if you buy an old one. This being 500 and something pounds, English pounds, you are really getting a lot of guitar for your money. What else do we have? You've got medium jumbo frets, which feel great. I love the medium jumbo frets. They just suit my playing as well. I prefer a higher action with a slightly bigger fret as well. That's just how I like it. You may prefer a lower action and small kind of frets, but no, medium jumbos suit me fine. What else do we have? Oh yeah, we have the rolled fretboard edges as well. I forgot to say that. So they feel really smooth with the frets you have. You've got the Tune-o-matic and aluminium stop tail piece, which is, yeah, cool. Really impressed by that. Obviously with the rhythm and treble switch on the pickup, the toggle switch, you have the volume and tone for each one like you would on a Gibson. So yeah, I would say if you can afford a Gibson, get a Gibson, okay? That you do get your money's worth with that. But I would say if you're not quite on that budget, or you don't quite have the money to buy the Gibson Les Paul, this is by no means a substitute at all. You could easily use it to replace or just buy instead of. So you'd be saving money there. You'd be happy. That's all I can say really. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and let me know what you thought of the tone below. Like I say, sorry the jam at the start went on a bit, but let me know what you think of the sound of it, and yeah, give me some feedback. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, and hope you guys have a great weekend, whatever you're doing, and see you on the next one. Cheers everyone.